The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Mr. Christopher de Souza.
Sir, this bill strengthens access to justice in Singapore. Oftentimes, a person may feel daunted by the prospect of needing to navigate the legal process on one's own. Some knowledge of the law may be needed to make legal arguments in court. Some may not be able to afford court fees, let alone hire legal assistance, aid, or representation. For justice to be administered, the best institutional and legal infrastructure is necessary but insufficient. Access to them is also important. At this juncture, I should declare that I am a lawyer in private practice. Access to justice is important, not just for justice between relevant parties, but is also critical for society, a rule of law society, a society where people obey the law and are guided by the law. As an example, if an employer knew that he or she can get away with not paying the employee's wages agreed upon in the contract because the employee is unable to bring a claim against him or her, it would be much easier for an employer to unlawfully withhold wages. But this would not be the case if the employer knew the employee has access to justice. Therefore, by knowing that there is a possibility that the court system may be utilized to enforce the claim, there will be greater incentive to obey the law. In this way, access to justice promotes the rule of law before something goes wrong. In this way, access to justice promotes the rule of law even before something goes wrong. Furthermore, in certain circumstances, when something does go wrong, access to justice is important for people to not feel that they need to take things into their own hands by resorting to violence, for instance. A tangible example of this is personal protection orders, one of the many things that Legal Aid Bureau helps its clients with. Through this bill, the Legal Aid Bureau will be even more effective in its mission of advancing access to justice and the rule of law. I should also state that many members of the Singapore Bar already provide hours upon hours of pro bono services to clients who cannot afford legal fees. And so, these amendments in this bill should be viewed as complementing the already selfless effort of many members of the litigation bar. Coming back to the bill, Clause 7 and 21 remove the current means test in the second schedule of the current Act. Currently, the merit test comprises of disposable income test and disposable capital test. The amendment allows the means test to be brought in line with what is currently used among other agencies and welfare services. This simplifies the process and makes it easier for applicants who need various forms of help to use the same supporting documents to apply for the different kinds of help. Related to this, would the Minister elaborate on how the qualifying limit will be set? On a related note, there is an increased discretion for the Minister to direct the Director to accept deserving cases should the applicant not meet the rigid means test. The broadened discretion expands the discretion beyond just loss of income or loss of earning capacity to, for instance, a person who cannot afford legal services because he needs to pay for major medical procedures due to a serious illness. As difficulties in life that may reduce one's ability to afford legal assistance are very varied, it is good that there is greater discretion. Would the Minister elaborate on how this discretion is to be exercised? Is the aim to help those with around the same needs profile as those under the strict means test, even though the need may arise from different circumstances? This bill also enables the Legal Aid Bureau to better manage their resources. Under Clause 3, the Director may appoint someone who is not a qualified person under the Legal Profession Act to appear and plead in court for an aided person. Would the Minister elaborate on the rigorous training that these public officers will undergo so that the Legal Aid Bureau will continue to be known for its high-quality legal services, and so LAB's clients' interests can continue to be effectively represented? Notwithstanding the ability to appoint public officers to represent clients, assigned solicitors continue to play an important role in the Legal Aid Bureau's work. For instance, they still seem necessary for specialized cases involving medical negligence, Sharia court cases, or where both parties applied for legal aid. Under Clause 4, assigned solicitors serve for terms of approximately 3 years. The scope of legal assistance is expanded under Clause 10, where other relevant court documents besides judges' notes of evidence may be provided without fees. This is a welcome move, especially because other court documents may be necessary in the civil process. For example, the record of proceedings in a notice of appeal includes a certified copy of the grounds of judgment, or order, if any, and a copy of the certified transcript of the official record of the hearing. In conclusion, sir, this bill strengthens access to justice in Singapore by enabling better management of resources, expanding the scope of assistance, and making the application process more straightforward and less rigid. In strengthening access to justice, this bill also advances the rule of law in Singapore. Therefore, I support it.